Erie and the Otters celebrated the 2017 OHL championship throughout the summer, an accomplishment years in the making. That championship culminated a 4-year run at the top for the Erie Otters, but the hockey world is always turning, and the Otters would soon turn their focus to the building of the next great chapter in Erie hockey history. The summer of 2017 brought changes and turnover from the previous core group. Gone were the likes of Dylan Strome, Alex DeBrincat, Darren Radish, Kyle Pettit, and the deadline acquisitions to put Erie over the top. Behind the bench would see another departure, as the Otters would be looking for a new head coach for the first time in nearly 5 years, as Chris Knobloch left for the Philadelphia Flyers. General Manager Dave Brown called on a familiar face to take the reins of the Otters with the hiring of Chris Hartsburg, who became head coach of the USHL's Lincoln Stars following his season as an assistant with the Otters in 2013-2014 that saw Erie produce one of the biggest turnarounds in OHL history. Hartsburg, along with now associate coach B.J. Adams and assistant Wes Wolf, were tasked with laying the groundwork for the next Otters run at the OHL title. The Erie Otters returned a handful of bodies from the previous season's run: Taylor Radish, Jordan Sambrook, Kyle Maximovich, Patrick Fellows, Owen Hedrick, Troy Timpano, Ivan Laudnia, and Christian Gurney provided an early leadership contingent for a roster that began the year with 10 fresh faces. Erie added second-year forward Alex Gritz to the mix from the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. The Cranberry Kid helped replace Erie's graduating center depth. The Otters' rookie class would eventually take the spotlight, with newcomers becoming everyday players. In came first-round pick Emmett Sproul, Jack Duff, Maxim Golod, Curtis Henry, Joe Mack, Anand Oberoi, Stefan Patry, Aiden Timmermans, and Chad Yetman. A new brand of Otter and style of play was here as Erie ushered in the next era of hockey. The recipe showed signs of good things to come as they opened the season on the road with 3 out of a possible 6 points and a season-opening win in Peterborough. There was one last look at the previous season's championship run as the Erie Otters raised their championship banner at their home opener in September against the Kitchener Rangers. Although the celebration was dampened with the Rangers squeaking out a victory, the team, ownership, and fan base had one last date with the Cup. Sending the Robertson Cup out of Erie with an arrangement that it won't be very long until the precious chalice is back on the Pennsylvania shores of Lake Erie very soon. Although the season didn't kick off to the start that everyone had hoped for, the Otters brass could see the group taking shape for the future. As one of the younger teams in the league, Erie shared its ebb and flow of the season, but the highs began to show what this team was capable of. Wins over the rivaled London Knights is always a crowd pleaser for everyone involved. Before the first half of the year wound down, a memorable performance took place on home ice with Anand Oberoi shut out of the North Bay Battalion. The 3-0 blanking of the eventual playoff team was a feather in the cap of how hard the Otters worked to come together. Even with that great feeling heading into the holiday break, there were more changes on the way as the 2017 championship chapter would come to a close in early January. After years of spending assets to get over the top, it came time for the Otters to restock and build young talent. To do so, it meant departing with the likes of Taylor Radish, Jordan Sambrook, Cade Robinson, and Mitch Byrne. Although the goodbyes were difficult with those players playing significant roles over the past few seasons, those moves helped restock the draft pick cupboard and brought in ready-to-play talent with 2 additions to the new core in Sioux Greyhounds 2018 first-round pick Hayden Fowler and defenseman Luke Beamish. It was time for the youth movement to take over as rookie goalie Dan Murphy also came onto the scene as part of this revamped roster. As the winter months passed, it was evident on the ice of how well this team was coming together and beginning to play their brand of Otters hockey. They were hard to play against and never gave the opposition an easy evening at the rink. Even as the postseason seemed to slip from view, the team recorded 21 points in 20 games over the final 2 months of the season, gaining more and more confidence in their game working into the future. Even with the surge of youth and recent draft picks into the lineup, the Otters kept a veteran group to teach what it means to be an OHLer and an Erie Otter. Erie's overage contingent added 4-year OHL veteran Troy Lajeunesse from the Sudbury Wolves prior to the OHL deadline. Originally a free agent signing of the Sarnia Sting, Lajeunesse would finish his career with 251 games played and 150 points. A hard-nosed, honest player who fit the Otters' mold on and off the ice, Troy stepped in and showed the youth that hard work goes a long way in this league. Owen Hedrick returned to the Otters for his final year of junior eligibility. Part of the Otters' 2017 championship run, Hedrick took over the blue line this past season as the veteran presence to guide the young defenseman that joined him each night. He'd finished with 90 career OHL games, but his experience in the NCAA and junior hockey is what transferred to his peers as they learned to carry themselves as everyday OHL players. Patrick Fellows was the Otters' third overage player and was a true leader around the Otters youth. A 4-year veteran of the team, Fellows finished with 241 career games played and 79 points in an Erie sweater. He lived what it meant to be an Otter on and off the ice, something that trickled down through the impressionable young ranks. One other leadership role was missing for the first half of the year as the Otters did not name a captain to begin the season. That would change on January 12th when the team announced Kyle Maximovich to wear the C for the remainder of the season. Underrated perhaps by his stature, there's no doubting the size of the heart behind number 9. A 4-year veteran with the organization, Kyle brought the attitude, energy, and passion the coaching staff desired on a daily basis. That infectious personality resonated with the group as the team found their game for the second half of the season. For Maximovich, he continued his outstanding Otters career by adding a milestone few have hit in team history. It can be said that he was in the shadows of some of the Otters' big names that have graduated on, but Kyle has consistently produced throughout his career. And on December 15th, he made his mark on the Otters record books by becoming just the 12th player all-time to record 200 points in an Erie Otters sweater. The Erie Otters became one of the more exciting teams in the league as the talent continued to mesh and come together at the end of the season. That, mixed with the hard-nosed work ethic, created an enthusiastic excitement for the squad heading into the future. It seemed every year the team provides the Erie Insurance Arena faithful memorable moments to talk about throughout the offseason, and March was full of them. The final Memorial Cup rematch of the season with the Windsor Spitfires was the scheduled tilt on a Saturday night in Erie. Erie had been bested by their Western Conference rival in the previous 3 meetings, but the group was determined to change that around on this evening. The Spitfires climbed to a 3-1 lead early in the third period, but the Otters were just heating up. It was an uphill battle as the Otters would have to score twice against the OHL's goaltender of the year in Michael DiPietro, but the captain would help spark the group with his 30th goal of the season to draw to within 1. Always a team for the dramatics, Erie took things down to the final seconds to blow the roof off the building. With the goalie pulled and a power play already ongoing, a series of fortunate deflections put the puck on the tape of Hayden Fowler, who directed the puck into a yawning cage with 8 seconds to play. The rowdy Erie faithful didn't have to wait long into overtime to jump back on their feet as Fowler once again found the puck on his tape and roofed it to hand the Otters a 4-3 triumph. A week later, the Otters shared another glimpse into the future with their season finale against the Guelph Storm. If fans wanted to know what this team was capable of in the future, this final battle against the division rival and playoff-bound squad put the league on notice of what's to come. Those in attendance were treated to a first-period onslaught as Alex Gritz, Kyle Maximovich, and Troy Lajeunesse had the Otters ahead 3-1. Hayden Fowler and Gara Padumny padded the lead further as the Otters quieted the Storm by going ahead 5-1. If you were looking for a little more than scoring, Curtis Henry gave Otters fans a show with another tilt that sent the Storm on a cold bus ride home. Erie would prevail on home ice to give fans the hope that the future would carry more games like those last 2 Saturdays in March. Even though playoffs weren't in the cards this season, fans could see the team wasn't far away from being back in the dance. Like every year, there will be changes to the roster as Erie's 3 overagers will graduate from junior hockey, but much of this group will return to the Erie Insurance Arena ice this fall with a year of OHL experience under their belt. That momentum built up from the winter will carry through to the next season with even more excitement, with the Otters adding prize prospects in Jamie Drysdale and Brendan Hoffman. A new core group has moved into the spotlight for the Otters. A year of growth and self-discovery has put them on the fast track for junior hockey success. As one Otters era and its championship glow begins to fade out, the next age is just beginning to shine in the Gem City.